So today we're going to talk about quotes of wisdom and taking a deep dive into some of them within the book. We'll maybe go over about 10 or so, but it depends on, how fast we go through them really. The first one is from day 44 by Charles Bukowski. He says, "My ambition is handicapped by laziness. My ambition is handicapped by laziness." I mean, we all call ourselves ambitious, don't we? But does our work ethic and drive match this? The key difference between those who actually achieve things and those who don't is action. You might be the most ambitious person in the world on paper, but if you sit watching TV all day, nothing will ever get done. Are you just procrastinating? Instead, you should turn your ambitions into the required habits, routines, and goals you need to arrive there. We are, in essence, limited by our output. We are limited by our mentality. How excited are you about these habits, the goal, and the potential result? Are you excited to work twice as hard? Or do you lack the willpower? Once you've started, it'll actually get easier. Getting started is the hardest part. Chase the carrot rather than disciplining yourself with the stick. Chasing the carrot is generally more exciting, and it makes you more willing to do extra. The desire to achieve something in life and our laziness is something we grapple with all the time. Don't let your laziness handicap your ambition. The next quote we're going to look at is day 162, Marcus Aurelius. You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. You don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. You don't have to make things worse than they already are. You don't have to let a bad issue affect it for longer than it needs to. You may have had a minor car accident, but you don't have to let this put you in a bad mood for a month, 6 months, a year. You could, in fact, be happy that it didn't go any worse, couldn't you? Your emotions are reflective of your perspective. Are you someone who lacks emotional control? Are you letting events affect you twice? Are you letting events control your mindset? You can stop things at the source. There's another quote here from Marcus Aurelius, day 170. One of my favorites. To be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it. Imagine a rock in the middle of the sea. There's a storm. The waves are crashing against this rock, standing all alone, unaffected by what's happening. The rock actually represents a person who is unfazed by the madness of life happening around him. He doesn't let the stress affect him, and he's actually a sounding board for many other people. You'll hear people say in a relationship, "Oh, he's my rock," because nothing, even though you're affected or they are affected, the other person is not. You want to reflect or deflect the water and not absorb it. Waves are relentless like life, aren't they? They keep coming, they keep coming, they keep coming. Yet we should remain stoic, stable, and not be overwhelmed by what's happening. The next quote is from Albert Einstein, which is day 186. Failure is success in progress. This is a great one. People are scared of failure. They have a fear of failure and they want to win at every opportunity. Unfortunately, that's not how life works. Success is defined as as an accomplishment of an aim or a purpose. You might miss 50 basketball shots before you score. You might take three drafts on an important email before you press send. You might start three businesses before you succeed on the fourth. You may talk to 10 girls before you finally get a date. But during those times, when you're failing, you are learning. They are stepping stones, and failure is inherent to success. Persistence is key here, understanding that the more you fail short term, the better you get long term. J.K. Rowling was rejected by many publishers. Sylvester Stallone was rejected for his Rocky script 1,500 times and even sold his dog in the process and bought it back. Remember, failure is an inverse to progress, to success. It's actually part of the process. The next quote is day 191. The more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in combat. Richard Marcinko. There are some other variations of this one. Sweat more during peace, bleed less during war. Sun Tzu. And George S. Patterson Jr., who says, he who sweats more in training bleeds less in battle. I mean, they all mean the same thing, don't they? But imagine going to battle having not trained. Imagine going into a sword fight without first training for hours. Imagine racing a car without first practicing. Imagine not practicing before an interview, or, if you're standing up stage as a comedian, imagine not going through your lines. Imagine playing football match without training as a team. Imagine playing a golf tournament without going to a driving range. You need to decide how to train as well. You need to look at the end goal. Sweating more means that you're willing to put yourself through conscious pain to stop pain longer term. You have to decide to sweat, and that's going to help you in the real thing. It's not just going to be a rehearsal. It's going to be the final day. This isn't just about battle. This is about real life. When we prefer to fail or fail to prepare, we prepare to fail. And under pressure, you don't rise to the occasion. You sink to your level of training. That's why you should train so hard. Another quote is, let's have a look. We've got a lot of loads here. Let's have a look. Day 223. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person. Are you one of those people who have just thought about leaving, selling everything, forgetting everyone you've ever known, and going to live in a land far, far away? You want to escape. Do you think all of your problems will just disappear though if you did that? Wouldn't you just be the same person living somewhere else? And you'll actually, unless you change as an individual, you'll still consume the same drugs or alcohol you've done before. If you're not going to exercise, you're not going to exercise anymore. Maybe you're not going to improve your social skills. Yes, getting out your comfort zone can help. Absolutely. But it's you that needs to change. Moving will not change this. You can start changing your life where you are today. You can start a business from your laptop. You can apply to a new job. You can start a business. Take the blame rather than blaming the externalities of life about where you live. There's plenty of people who have made it exactly where you are. Another quote from Seneca. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor are men perfected without trials. When you want to clean anything, a kitchen surface, a car, or a gem, you have to use friction. Now imagine if that car or that kitchen surface had feelings. It probably wouldn't enjoy that process of being scrubbed with a scouring pad or a sponge or a chamois leather. But in the end, that item is clean. The same goes with us. The scrubbing is the trials and obstacles and tribulations we go through. The best mountaineers have been through the toughest conditions. And if you want to be the best, you need to go through bad situations too. You need to put yourself through these problems in order to come out victorious. We learn from experience and we get better as we go through life. We shouldn't try to avoid pain, but instead encourage it and embrace it. Children fall, don't they, while they're trying to walk, but they don't stop there. They continue to try. And that's what we need to do. Another quote from Benjamin Franklin. If a man empties his purse into his head, no man can take it away from him. An investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. Benjamin Franklin. It's from day 251. People are looking for these get rich quick schemes, but they don't really exist. Invest into your own knowledge, your own development. Even if you lose all your money, you will still have that knowledge, that awareness. If you just put it into a silly little investment and you lose it, yes, you've learned about investing from that, but the knowledge, the amount that you invested, maybe you could have gained more knowledge than just that spread bet that you did overnight and bet all of your money. Books, courses, they all cost money to obtain, yet the return on investment can be high. Intellectual wealth, then, is the best form of wealth because it cannot be taken away, even if you go bankrupt. And Peter Jones from Dragon's Den didn't he? He lost a lot of money, 200 plus million, but he made it all back because you know what they couldn't take away from him? His business acumen, his discipline, his knowledge, his focus, his hunger. That remains until you pass. The next quote is from Seneca. Even after a bad harvest, there must be sowing. From day to 302. If anything, a bad harvest should make you want to sow even more, shouldn't it? Another quote that is similar is judge a day not by the harvest you reap, but by the seed you plant. And that's the same. Is if you're not seeing any benefits, you need to start sowing harder now to ensure that your next harvest is better. Maybe you need to make small adjustments. Maybe you need to make a big overhaul. Maybe you need to change your process. Ask yourself as well, why did the harvest go badly? Are you self-reflecting on why things are where they are today? Life's easy in hindsight, but what we can do is look back and see what we can change moving forward to ensure that the same thing doesn't happen. What are you are where you are today because of what you've done in the past. Could you now plant different seeds in order to generate a different outcome? Because at the end of the day, if you want to be the best and good, you need to learn how to take what's happened to you and make yourself better.